Whippets don't shed, said no one who's actually owned by a whippet. It's a myth sold by backyard breeders like it's gold-plated truth. It's a tagline that goes right next to hypoallergenic. Did you also know that eating 10 ice creams a day will give you your dream beach body? Whippets shed. And while you won't find clumps of hair like with a husky, you will discover a thin layer of magical sighthound glitters coating your clothes, your couch, your soul. They're like stealth shedders. You don't see it until the light hits just right and suddenly your favorite shirt is fuzzier than the culprit. What we brush our whippets with is a question I get asked a lot. The answer will surprise you because the tools I've discovered work best are not even brushes, and I actually wanted to show you, just that spring has been a little crazy here. One day we're drowning in rain, the next it's too hot. A week later, I scratch ice from my windshield and we sit by the fireplace. Heck, we even had snow in April. So the 6 whippets I'm owned by were confused and forgot to release their fairy dust. Good news is the weather is finally normal for the season. It's warm and stunning outside. Apart from beauty, warm weather also brings the whip flakes. They finally began to fall, all at once. What better time to brush everyone? Let's see who sheds the most, how much hair we will collect at the end, and obviously what we brush them with. The tools I use, as I mentioned, are not even brushes, but dog toys made from a material called TPR, or thermoplastic rubber, and I discovered they work wonders by accident and out of curiosity. My favorite of all are the spiky rings. Even you might have something similar lying around your house, but if you don't, I bet you could find them in almost every pet store. They're not a particular brand, in fact we've purchased all of them from different locations and I haven't even looked at the label. Let's start with Jamie. I prefer to brush them on a table. In this case, a grooming table, which you absolutely do not need if you have 1 or 2 whippets. We have 6 whippets and a year ago we had 8. We trimmed their nails and brushed them and their teeth on it. My back has a chance to live longer and it's more convenient because I can place all of my tools on it and collect most of the hair once I'm done. Jamie, if you're new here, is 6 years old and was born in this very house. Don't be fooled by the position of her tail. I assure you she's neither uncomfortable nor am I too rough. Also, she's not tied up and she can jump off if she decides. She's very opinionated and usually doesn't hesitate to disappear once she's had enough of me. But this time, to my surprise, she remained on the table throughout the whole procedure. Brushing your whippet is a great opportunity to check for any lumps, bumps, nicks and tears or anything on their body that's out of the ordinary. Remember to be gentle, they have thin skin and very little body fat. Well, not Jamie, as she's still shredding the extra layer she collected during winter. A few of our whippets tend to gain a little bit of weight during the colder months since they have little to no desire to engage in any activities other than hibernation, but I'm happy to say they return to top condition as soon as the weather warms up. She is shedding quite a bit, so she might be our winner, so let's release her and see what we've got. Yeah, I've seen worse, but that's a solid amount. Next up is Aerys, who is our youngest whippet, almost 2.5 years old. She kinda became the main character of the channel as I've shared with you so much of her journey since we got her as a puppy with you. What you can see on her neck is a scratch and the hair around it is stained by Manuka honey. Worry not, I'm familiar with it and it's taken care of. And as you can see, they're free to go off the table if they please. She saw the other whippets running with toys and just wanted to join, cause brushing is just boring. Anyway, let's retrieve the child. She is shedding, but not as much as Jamie, and I'm afraid the breeze subtracted most of her hair from our final calculation. I'll do my best to preserve as much as I can. Aerys doesn't have any winter fat to shred since she is always active, regardless of the season. It's a bigger challenge for me to keep weight on her rather than off. Let's release her back to the wild and see what we've got. A humble contribution. Next up is our senior boy Cooper, who is having his 13th birthday in a few days and is a very sensitive man, as you can also probably see for yourself. He is very easily offended and is one of the most dramatic whippets I've ever had. But regardless, he is and always has been a very good boy. A good boy who always sheds a lot. Fun fact, Cooper is Jamie's uncle. Last year he had some mild health challenges and lost weight as a result. However, I'm very happy with the way he looks at the moment. He is our only boy currently and most likely the last male whippet I'll own that lives in our home. Once I was done filming, I realized I didn't even use the blue block or the glove. I'm sorry, I just forgot, but to summarize for you, the glove's bristles are way too soft to do a decent job. While it's not the worst tool, I still prefer the rings. We have a pair of black gloves that has a texture similar to TPR, however the rubber hardened in time and no longer catches hair. To be honest though, they used to be very efficient. And the blue brick or block, I don't know how to call it, is better at removing hair from clothes and furniture rather than the whippets, so trust me, you're not missing out. Let's release our elderly gentleman and see what we took off him. Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised, just as I expected. Next is Ivy, and I decided to switch up the tools a little bit. Although this brush does a decent job, don't ask me about the brand, I have no idea, I still prefer the rings. The more dense the spikes, the better is what I have discovered. Just before our brushing session, Ivy has had another beautifying procedure, also known as rolling in worms. Yes, whippets do that in case you weren't aware, females especially. It's disgusting, leaves huge brown spots that smell horrendous. I can smell it from the other side of the house, and that's how I know they've been shopping for perfumes. Sometimes they even have pieces of worm hanging from their necks. Still want a whippet? Ivy is also 6 and is Jamie's sister. They look nothing alike, but trust me, they're from the same litter. I've been brushing everyone for about 7 minutes each, and even though I'm doing my best, I can't get all of the hair off in one session. After a major de-shedding, we'll have some shorter follow-up sessions every other day to get the rest of the hair off. And trust me, it will continue to fall for quite some time. To ensure less whippet glitters end up in your food and on your clothes, you can brush them a little every day or every other day. Ivy is free to go, and this is how much I managed to collect. Number 5 is Ruby, and she is not the biggest fan of my beauty salon. She prefers to do what she prefers to do, and such activities are not on the list. I picked up another toy also made of TPR just to show you what it can do. It's a little harder than the rings and it requires an even gentler hand, but at the end of the day, the rings are still my favorite. I know it might be shocking, but Ruby is a sister of Jamie and Ivy. And even though she's shedding, it's not nearly as bad as her sisters. Whether you're using a brush, rubber gloves, or another tool, don't forget to wash them after each use. Hair, dust, dandruff, and oils will stick to them and make them less efficient. All you need is warm water and soap, and they're as good as new. Ruby can't wait to be done with this, so I apologize for my sins and release her. I had the impression she had a lot more to give us today, but it seems I was wrong. I've definitely seen her do better. Last but not least is Skyler, who has also decided she needs a hint of earthworm carcass today and has done an even better job than Ivy. You know, whippets have no smell and apparently that's a bad thing. So instead of rolling in flowers, they choose this. Let me give you a tip. Don't try to wipe it off with a wet towel. The more you wipe, the bigger the chance you will faint. If it's too bad, just wash them. Skyler is our eldest girl. She turned 11 last month and is a half-sister of Jamie, Ruby, and Ivy. Same mom, different dads. All of them are what I like to call frozen puppies. In other words, the result of a well-calculated artificial insemination. Sorry if that's too much information for you, but I just decided to throw some fun facts about each and every one of our whippets. She's next level drama queen and is very vocal and emotional with everything she does. And just like Aerys is stuck to me, Skyler is stuck to my mom. I'm very pleased with her condition, as at least to me she doesn't look 11 years old. I hope she looks as good for many years to come. One of her missions is to guard the house, and she is always alert in case a squirrel thief attempts to land in our garden. I can already feel raindrops, so I'm rushing a little bit with her, but she is not shedding as much as I anticipated anyway. It's time to find out how much hair we managed to collect after brushing 6 whippets. Not bad, not bad. All of these whip flakes would have otherwise ended up on our floors, furniture, clothes, plates, eyes, ears, nose, heart. You get the idea. So yes, whippets shed for sure. Some more than others. Definitely not as much as double-coated or long-haired breeds. But they're certainly not hypoallergenic. For those of you watching that don't have a whippet, what do you think? Does it look like a lot of hair to you, or did it meet your expectations? Let me know in the comments. Have a lovely weekend and a fantastic week afterwards, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye bye!